Now we've looked at all of the layout containers that are more on a basic scale. At this point, we're going to start looking at the layout containers that actually do have a concept of relaying out their children. I'm going to pull these elements out of the canvas that they're in, and I can tap the Alt key just as I put them into the canvas to pull them out of it. I'm going to set them here out of my way for now. And I'm going to delete that canvas that I had put on my artboard. I'm now going to work with the first of my layout containers, the StackPanel. When I select the StackPanel and drag one out on the artboard, like the border, by default, it doesn't have any appearance. It's simply there to help you lay out controls. Now I'm going to switch back to the Selection tool and drag several of my controls into it. Once again, I'm still using the Alt key to change the parent into the StackPanel. You'll notice when I released number 1, it moved to the top center of the StackPanel. That's how a StackPanel works. It presents all of the elements in a contiguous line from top to bottom, centered. So as I bring element 2 in, when I release it, it will be centered directly below the number 1. The thick black line that you saw for a moment was the insertion cursor, so if I needed to insert an element between 1 and 2, I could move it around until the insertion cursor goes to the point where I want it. When I release, the elements will be reordered. You can change the orientation property on the StackPanel from vertical to horizontal if you prefer that style. The StackPanel will clip elements that fall outside of its border, so as I shrink the size of my StackPanel, the elements are removed. The WrapPanel is similar to the StackPanel in behavior. I'm going to change the layout type from the StackPanel to the WrapPanel. But where the StackPanel clips the elements, the WrapPanel will cause them to wrap onto the next line. So this time when I select my WrapPanel and reduce the size, you'll notice that the number 4 element jumps down to the next line, and then so on to make sure all the elements have the space that they need. The WrapPanel's orientation can also be set to get more of a vertical display. These layout managers are designed to reposition the controls inside them based on your layout. Each of these maintain or attempt to maintain the size of the original controls. I'm going to go ahead and select my 4 elements and drag them out of my WrapPanel and bring them back into the layout root. I'm done with that WrapPanel, so I'll delete it. I'm going to go ahead and just select it in my object tree and press the delete key to get rid of it. The viewbox control is there primarily for just keeping elements together. When I select these elements and right-click them and tell it to group into the viewbox, it looks similar to many of the other layout managers, but the viewbox keeps all the elements contained within proportional to each other. So as I stretch or shrink the viewbox around, the elements are stretched and shrunk accordingly. I'm going to remove my elements from the viewbox. I'm going to go ahead and select them in the object tree and drag them out of the viewbox, pressing Alt to return them to the layout root. You'll notice when I returned them to the layout root, they turned back to their original size. That was because the stretching and shrinking that we were seeing was because of the viewbox, and once I took them out of the viewbox, they were no longer influenced by it. Now that I've moved these out to the artboard, I'm going to delete the viewbox from my object tree and insert the uniform grid, the next layout container.